I hope you all enjoyed the match yesterday. So today we are all here to introduce you the new technology that HPCA has introduced. We have with us Mr. Paul Taylor from SIS Pitches, who's going to brief you on the technology, what all has been done in this HPCA facility. I have with me the president of HPCA and the secretary of HPCA. So warm welcome to all. First of all, I would like to request Mr. Paul Taylor to run you through the technology, what has been done, how it has been done, so that you get to know what would be the benefits of this technology. This is a path-breaking technology in terms of cricket fields. It has been introduced in soccer fields also. As you all know that there's a lot that HPC has done in the past few years with regard to technological upgradation, be it the world-class drainage system that you would have noticed. As you all know, Dharamshala receives a lot of rains. I think it's the second highest rains that we receive in the country. Which is who have this technology, we got it done in our ground, wherein despite of heaviest of rains, we'll be able to conduct a game within 10-15 minutes as soon as the rain is over. We have introduced LED lighting, and there are a lot many things that has been done over the years. You would have seen the entire facade of the stadium. It has been renovated. So with regard to this new technology that we have done, I would like to invite Mr. Paul Taylor to introduce you with regard to this. So once you go through that, in case you have any questions, we can take that. So I'll request Paul to brief you on that. Thank you so much.
Sit down. I was going to stand up there, but I'm going to sit down and do this. It'll be easier, I think. So, first of all, welcome everybody. Thank you very much indeed for your attendance. I'm not too sure what's more intimidating. My first test match at Eden Gardens, Calcutta, in front of 100,000 people, or in front of you lot. So I'm not quite sure where this sits at the moment, but I'll let you know afterwards. So thanks again for your attendance. A brief agenda for the day. We've got an introduction now. Just going to talk about the product for a while. Mr. Arun is going to say a few more words later. We've got a question and answer session, and then we're going to go out onto the ground to have a look at the pitch and also the SIA system, which is in place here, which is also been installed by SIS Pitches. A bit about SIS Pitches. The company is a privately owned business with no debt. We've got over 400 employees around the world, and that number is growing, turning over about $102 million US dollars a year. It's a UK-based company, but we've got offices. Who's here today? There's obviously myself. I'm International Cricket Director for SISGrass, which is the product, and Mr. Abhay Patanka, who's standing at the back. We're in purple, is our partner in India. My background, for those that haven't done any research, I played professional cricket for 18 years at various counties. I played for England A, and I toured India and Sri Lanka in 1993. And made my debut, as I said earlier, at Eden Gardens, which was a memorable experience. I played one of the test match, which was against New Zealand at Lord's. So I've had two completely different experiences in terms of cricket and how it's followed. I've played a lot of cricket, but following my retirement, I got involved in cricket development, so grassroots cricket in the UK, and I did that for 18 years. Firstly working for and then I was at Surrey County Cricket Club for 15 years. Developing the game, introducing people to the game, both adult and children, and making sure the game is sustainable. Most of my time was spent developing facilities for people to play on, because without good quality facilities, people are lost to the game very, very quickly, especially in the UK. I've been a qualified coach for over 40 years. Yes, I am that old. And I have been a level 3 coach for the last 20 plus years, so I don't do a lot of coaching now, but I know the game inside out. I've played it, I've coached it, I've administered it, and I've developed it, so that's hopefully gives you a flavour of where I come from. So, SISGrass, what is it? It's a hybrid turf system. Now, hybrid cricket pitches, there's different varieties, so there is some confusion sometimes. There's 3 types of hybrid cricket pitch. The one that we install uses the natural surface of the existing pitch, and we inject fibres into that. It's not an artificial carpet, which some systems are. There's no concrete bases involved. It is purely injecting a fibre into a natural turf, which is why it works so well. We inject the fibre for cricket into the ground by 90 mm. We can do it deeper, but it doesn't make any difference, really, in terms of cricket. 90 mm is quite sufficient for the purposes of cricket. It's injected vertically. It's a polyethylene fibre. It's got 6 strands to it. There's a twisted yarn, and that gets injected into the surface. As you can see, the big asset with this product is that it's still a 95% natural turf surface. There's only 5% of artificial fibre inserted into it. And that's a real key asset for this product. We've installed over 750 pitches worldwide in different countries, and there's around about 100 international pitches have been installed in various. As I said, 90 millimetres is the stitching depth. What are the benefits? What are the pluses? Improved surface durability and profile. It strengthens the soil. It's like reinforced concrete. You put metal bars into concrete to make it stronger. This is a similar principle. So it's designed to make the surface stronger and more durable. It's also designed to make it more consistent, so the bounce is better. Over a period of time, the bounce and the pace of pitches will improve, which is, again, is an asset. It does reduce wear in the high wear areas, so where the bowlers land, back foot, front foot contact, and batting creases, where the wicketkeeper stands. Those are really high wear areas, and it strengthens those and reinforces those. And the other big asset, the grass plant, will recover a lot quicker after use. So another asset of the fibres being in place, the grass recovers a lot quicker. There's also a greater grass coverage. There's less repair work to do for the grounds team after play, because there's not as much damage to the pitch, and the foothold damage is reduced quite significantly. The grass renovates a lot quicker, and the grass plant is a lot healthier. The fibre, when it's injected in, there's a natural airspace around the fibre, and that's a sort of a profile that you can see here. And so it means water and nutrients and all the good things that get down to the roots of the grass plant get down there a lot easier. So the quality of the grass that is utilised, that is in place, is a better quality. And obviously, I don't think it's an issue in India about pressure on ground being played worldwide, especially with the development of the women and girls game, which is absolutely fantastic to see. But there is increased pressure on facilities to maximise the pitches that they have, and this is a bonus and an asset that will maximise that for you. You probably won't see that because it's quite small. It just shows you a diagram of where we stitch to. So the green area is obviously we stitch to a metre beyond the stumps, so it picks up back foot contact for the bowlers, which again is one of the big high wear areas. There's different coloured yarns that we can use depending on the colour of the surface. So we've stitched some of the outfield at Dharamshala, and we used a 2-tone green yarn for the parts of the outfield. You cannot see that. That's disappeared. You can't see it at all now. It blends in so well with the natural grass. The yarn we've used for these particular pitches is beige, because that's the natural colour of the pitches. But we do a beige and green yarn, which we use quite a lot in the UK, because that's the colour of the pitches. So we choose the yarn to suit the circumstances of the particular installation. In the UK, again, it's been used for the last 4 or 5 years. ECB have approved it for the 2020 that they play, the 50 over competition and the 100. So hybrid pitches are regularly used in those formats of the game. And for this year, for the first time, which we're really pleased about, but came as quite a surprise, they're actually going to trial it in 4-day county championship cricket as well. Just to see, and they're going to monitor the results just to see how those wickets perform in 4-day cricket as well as 1-day cricket. Just a few images there of some of the surfaces. That's Sophia Gardens on the left in Cardiff, and obviously the next picture, which you'll see now, is of Lord's. So we've stitched at 17 out of 18 county grounds in the UK, which is really good for us. Some of the tests and trials that have been done on the surface, it was independently tested when it was first introduced, because ECB wouldn't approve it for anything until it was independently tested. And they found during these tests that there was no significant difference in traction between a stitch pitch and a non-stitch pitch. So the actual traction levels are very similar, and anecdotal observational evidence that pace and bounce improves in a stitch pitch over a period of time. Obviously the pitch lasts longer, which is good, but also the foothold damage is massively reduced. So the trials that were done at the Oval, which is obviously, I saw those trials take place actually because I was still working there then. There were 200 overs bowled on a stitch pitch, and the foothold damage was only 11 mm, compared to a 90 over session with the same bowlers on a similar pitch adjacent to the stitched one. The foothold damage was 25 mm, so a lot significantly reduced. As I said, we've installed in 17 international grounds around the world and 17 out of 18 counties. Excuse me. And there's lots and lots of pitches now being installed in clubs and schools in the UK, and it's only been around 7 years, so it's still relatively new technology. So we are still learning all the time, and obviously having the privilege of coming here to stitch in Indian conditions for the first time has been great to see, and we're very, very appreciative of that. There's some of the grounds in the UK where we've installed, and there are loads of pitches around. And again, the presentation will be circulated to you, so you'll be able to see this in more detail. But these are all the international venues. So we're installed in Australia, New Zealand, obviously India now, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and the UAE. We've got pitches installed there. So we are trying to take this technology across the world, and this is the best place and the biggest place to go first. First-class venues, all the cricket clubs that we've installed in England, and then all the schools, colleges, universities, etc., etc. Just quickly on the SIA system, which is installed here. It's a root aeration system, so basically it has two functions. It can either put more air into the outfield, the grass, to improve the strength of the roots, or it can extract water from the surface. And there's a game that a football match that we've got a SIA system installed. Manchester United were playing Galatasaray a few years ago, and they had a week's worth of torrential rain. And 24 hours before the game, they were thinking about calling the game off, and it was a massive game. And we have SIA installed at Galatasaray, and they put it on the vacuum setting, which takes all the moisture out, and within 24 hours that ground was fit to play, and they played the game. There's a case study on our website if you want to see more details of that, but effectively it controls the temperature of the soil by either blowing air in, sucking water out, and it helps obviously the strength and quality of the grass during the summer months. That's it from me. I've flown through that quite quickly. Obviously, you can ask lots of questions later, but I'd like to hand over to Mr. Arun to say a few more words.
For the benefit of all my friends who have not been able to understand accent, I believe you would have understood the technology. So if you want, I can speak in Hindi also, just for your better understanding. क्या किया गया उसके बारे में बताया गया, क्यों किया गया थोड़ा मैं उसको जानकारी आप सबको देना चाहूँगा। जैसा कि आप सबको पता है कि बीसीसीआई लगभग 2500 के करीब मैचेस पूरे साल में करवाती है, बीट मेंस गेम, वुमेन गेम, अंडर 16, अंडर 19, रणजी ट्रॉफी, विजय हजारे, ऐसे करके जितने भी हमारे ग्राउंड हैं अक्रॉस द कंट्री, और जितने बायलैटरल गेम अब हो रहे हैं, जितने विमेन प्रीमियर लीग एक अलग इवेंट आपने देखा, बहुत अच्छा टेक ऑफ किया है। धर्मशाला की अगर मैं बात करूं, अक्टूबर में हमने 5 गेम्स करवाई। आप सेंटर विकेट को तो प्रोटेक्ट करते हो जहां आपने मैच करना है, लेकिन साइड विकेट पे जहां पे प्रैक्टिस होनी है, तो एक टीम सुबह आती है, एक शाम को आती है, तो देयर इज़ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर ऑन दीज विकेट्स, और जो क्वालिटी ऑफ विकेट्स चाहिए उनको प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए वो नहीं मिल पाती। तो हमारा उद्देश्य ये था कि उनको सेम क्वालिटी ऑफ विकेट मिले, जितना ज़्यादा प्रेशर भी विकेट पे हो। तो उसी के बारे में पॉल ने आपको बताया कि जो इस टेक्नोलॉजी का हमने उपयोग किया है, 5% फाइबर को इंट्रोड्यूस किया है विकेट्स में, ताकि सॉइल की बाइंडिंग वैसी ही रहे, क्वालिटी ऑफ ग्रास अच्छा रहे, क्वालिटी ऑफ विकेट अच्छी रहे। और अभी आपने देखा होगा जो प्रैक्टिस गेम्स यहाँ पे हुई भी, तो जो भी प्लेयर्स आए उनको पता नहीं चला कि इसमें हाइब्रिड फाइबर का एलिमेंट है या नहीं, लेकिन उनको क्वालिटी वो मिली। जो रन अप एरिया भी है विकेट्स का, जहाँ से बॉलर पेसर आते हैं, तो आपने देखा होगा जब वो स्पाइक्स डाल के बॉलिंग करते हैं तो घास भी उखड़ जाता है और मिट्टी भी निकल आती है। लेकिन आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि टेस्ट मैच के दौरान भी और अभी भी कोई पैचेस नहीं आए, because of the quality of outfield that we have been able to do with the introduction of this SIS grass. हमारा थोड़ा आलोचना भी हुई थी वर्ल्ड कप के दौरान कुछ आउटफील्ड को लेके, लेकिन वो स्वाभाविक तौर पर फंगस का एलिमेंट था, उसके लिए कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता। लेकिन उसके बाद जो टेस्ट मैच हुआ, आप सबने देखा होगा, जो इंग्लिश प्लेयर्स भी आए उन्होंने कहा कि इतना खूबसूरत आउटफील्ड हमने पूरे विश्व में कहीं नहीं देखा। तो हमारा उद्देश्य ये रहता है, आपने देखा होगा टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत ज़्यादा इंट्रोड्यूस हो रही है, चाहे LED लाइट्स लगाने की बात हो, विकेट कलरफुल हो गई है, कैमरास HD से लेके अब 4K, BCCI पहला ऐसा क्रिकेट बोर्ड है जिसने 4K प्रोडक्शन शुरू की है। तो टेक्नोलॉजी का बहुत ज़्यादा उपयोग ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में हो रहा है, लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि क्वालिटी ऑफ गेम के लिए आप ग्राउंड और प्रैक्टिस विकेट में किस तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग कर सकते हैं, ताकि जो क्वालिटी प्लेयर्स को चाहिए प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए और उस गेम को खेलने के लिए, उसके लिए जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग हम कर सकते हैं। HPCA इज द फर्स्ट एसोसिएशन इन द कंट्री हु हैज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड दिस, सो आई वुड लाइक टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट बोथ माई कोलीग्स फॉर व्हाट दे हैव डन हेयर, जिसको हम शोकेस कर पा रहे हैं पूरे विश्व को। और मैं आगे भी चाहूँगा, टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत ज़्यादा एडवांसमेंट आएंगी, जैसे जैसे प्रेशर बढ़ेगा और जैसे सिसग्रास जैसी कंपनियां और ज़्यादा चीज़ों को लाएंगी टेक्नोलॉजी के द्वारा, हम उनका उपयोग करके, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है कि खिलाड़ियों को एक ऐसा सरफेस मिले जहां वो अपना बेस्ट प्रदर्शन कर सकें। 140 करोड़ लोगों का देश, और आज हम बात करते हैं कि बेंच स्ट्रेंथ जो हिंदुस्तान को मिली है, वो कहीं हमारी B टीम जा रही है, कहीं C टीम जा रही है, वो भी विश्व की अच्छी से अच्छी टीम को हरा देती है। उसका कारण ये है कि डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेटर्स के लिए जो BCCI ने किया है, जो डोमेस्टिक गेम्स होती हैं, जो हमारी एकेडमीज है, जहाँ प्रैक्टिस फैसिलिटी इतनी ज़्यादा युवाओं को मिलती है, उसके लिए हम बहुत ज़्यादा काम करते हैं। तो मानता हूँ आने वाले समय में, क्योंकि ये प्रेशर और बढ़ेगा, विश्व का सबसे युवा भारत देश है, तो और जिस तरीके का इंटरेस्ट क्रिकेट में हमारे देश में है, बहुत ज़्यादा युवा ऐसे हैं जो क्रिकेट में खेलना चाहते हैं, अपने देश के लिए खेलना चाहते हैं, IPL गेम्स के लिए खेलना चाहते हैं। और अब तो क्योंकि वुमेन प्रीमियर लीग भी डिफरेंट लेवल पे टेक ऑफ कर रही है, बहुत ज़्यादा हमारी लड़कियां भी आके बच्चियां खेलना चाहती हैं, तो ज़्यादा प्रेशर हर स्टेट एसोसिएशन पर आ रहा है। तो हमारा उद्देश्य यही है कि बेस्ट फैसिलिटीज़ इन बच्चों को प्रोवाइड की जाए, उसी उद्देश्य में ये कदम लिया गया है। आपको काफ़ी जानकारी टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में दी गई, तो मैं एक बार फिर HPC को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहूँगा इस टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनिशिएटिव के लिए। आपको ग्राउंड पे ले जाके दिखाया भी जाएगा जो किया गया है, और एक बार सब का मैं फिर से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ। आपका कोई प्रश्न हो तो वी आर रेडी टू टेक दैट। देखिए, क्योंकि ये नेचुरल फाइबर है और केवल 5% यूज़ किया है पूरे विकेट में, तो इसको कोई मेंटेनेंस में कोई फ़र्क नहीं आता है। इनफैक्ट जो विकेट की मेंटेनेंस होती है वो और बेटर हो जाएगी, सॉइल की बाइंडिंग बेटर हो जाएगी, क्वालिटी ऑफ ग्रास बेटर होगा, तो इसका मेंटेनेंस का कोई इशू नहीं है। ओवर में भी 10-15 ईयर्स जब फाइबर कम हो जाए या मिट्टी किस तरीके से निकले तो उतना, लेकिन मेंटेनेंस फ्री हो जाएगी, मैं मानता हूँ।
While Paul and Rohit also mentioned that this is usually with Test cricket, one sees that traditionally in India, day 4, day 5 wicket with foot marks, spinners come into play and the rough comes into play. So will any of that be affected?
See, let me clarify one thing. I think there was miscommunication with regard to that also. These hybrid wickets that we use so far is used for practice facilities only. We are not using it for benches because ICC has so far not accredited the use of that. So it is just for the practice that we are using it. Since it is a new technology, over the years when they get to know that it doesn't affect bowlers or batsmen and it is equally paced and is equally good for spinners and medium pacers, if they allow that, it can be used for the match games. But as of now, these are being just used for practice game because that is where we have a lot of pressure when teams come maybe 2-3 days in advance and then they practice every day. So you need a lot of good services for them to give that advantage.
Mr. Duman, just want to odd Paul, whoever can answer. The presentation that you, the venues are either in England or Australia or in Scotland. Obviously, the conditions there are different, and as you said about your expansion in India, how challenging will it be? Because conditions are different here, and obviously, Dharamshala, obviously, it's sort of similar to the thing, but when you go to the other venues, how challenging will that be?
So we've installed in the UAE, in Dubai, at the ICC National Academy there. So we have in football, we have installed a lot of football pitches in warm climates and varying climates. So we have experience, and I think with cricket we are starting that journey. Obviously, India is our first sort of exploration, and within India there are massively diverse climatic conditions from the north of the country going south. And we need to understand, and we're learning. And we were here for 2 weeks when we did the installation, and we learnt a lot in the first 3 or 4 days before we started to work. The amount of moisture, just an example, the amount of moisture content needed in the soil to allow the machine to inject the fibre. In the UK, the moisture content is around about 40% that's needed. Here, it was anything between 60 and 80%. So there are lots of learnings that are taking place. And you know, it's a great place to learn and improve the way that we do things.
Any more questions? Hello?
Okay. Just a short video for you to just have a look at. There we go. Just to finish off from me, in terms of this, first of all, thank you to HPCA. Very much appreciate your involvement in this project and your permission to come to this amazing stadium and install this new technology. Another massive thank you to the curator, Mr. Sunil. I don't know whether he's here. Is he hiding at the back? Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for your permission and for allowing us to stitch your pictures and trust us with your pictures. Hopefully you're going to see the benefit of those in the months to come. And finally, to Mr. Arun for his time today and his support. It's fantastic to have you here, and I know you're a supporter of the project, and that helps us massively in terms of wanting to roll this out further and wider across the country. So thank you, sir, for your attendance as well. And that's it in terms of the formal part. We're now going to head out to look at the pitches. We've got somebody's going to bowl at Mr. Haroon. I'm not sure who's going to do that yet on one of the pitches, and then we can look at the SIA system, so you can see the plant room of what sort of machinery is in there. I think we might turn it on so you can hear it working, and then we've got lunch back here afterwards. So thank you very much for your attendance, and yeah, let's make our way outside.
Thank you.